49ers. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip. A brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
It's time for game night, getting you ready for Sacramento Kings basketball.
He's got the bucket.
Game night is presented by Power Business Technology, your locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or visit them at powercopiers.com. Here's your host, Scott Marsh, alongside the high flyer, Henry Turner.
And a very pleasant good evening to you. Welcome inside Golden One Center game night, coming to you live. Scott Marsh, again, not with the high flyer tonight. He is still recovering. I'm told that he is feeling better, and hopefully he'll be back with us on Wednesday. So that means Jason Ross steps in again. Jay-Bird, how are you, my friend?
I'm great. I did talk to Henry today, Scott. He thought because he wasn't here and Keegan went for 47, he just wanted to see if he waits one more night and Keegan goes for 48, then we might not see Henry again. We will see what.
We want to allow him back into the building.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for Henry in the sense that he missed one of the all-time great performances in Kings history, certainly in this building since it opened up. It was electric in here on Saturday night, no doubt about it. The Kings taking care of business 125-104. But, of course, the story was Keegan Murray, 12 three-pointers, franchise record, hit his first 11, had a chance at the all-time record of Klay Thompson for 14. It looked like he just might get it in the fourth quarter. He cooled off when he missed his last two. Finished only 12 of 15 on the night from beyond the arc. But, again, it was just one of those memorable moments that we'll always have with us regardless of what else happens.
Yeah, it was. I don't always go back and watch the game, but this one I wanted to rewatch, and it was on a replay later that night on Saturday. And when I checked back in, it was perfect timing. It was the third quarter, and Keegan was in the middle of the heater.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly how much time was left, Scott, but I want to say it was definitely under 2 minutes, and he had just scored, and Mark.
Check. 1, 2, testing, 1, 2.
Tied there. He had tied his career high at 30.
Testing.
And I'm looking at the number going, wait, he still gets to 39 in this quarter? And yeah, I think he hit the last 8 to 12 points of the quarter. I mean, he outscored the opponent or tied them for the quarter. I think he had 26 and so did they. It was just, for the Jazz, everything about it was amazing.
Yeah, the Kings had 44 in the quarter. He had 26 of them.
What did they have?
They had 26.
Yeah, so
you nailed it. Absolutely. Yeah. No, he almost beat them individually. And, that third quarter was something special. Obviously, the most points in the quarter in franchise history. And we were touching a lot on Klay. We remember Klay's 37-point effort, unfortunately, when he did that against the Kings. But it felt like a very similar situation here for Keegan, who, let's face it, hasn't really shot the ball like we've seen him last year when he broke the rookie record for most threes. But if he was ever in a slump, he's out of it now.
Yeah, and, we said in the pregame, look, someone's got to step up their game. I don't think we expected that. I mean, that was absolutely incredible, historically great, so fun to see. And even, I think, he said it post-game, like, well, now it just makes you know what you're capable of. Well, I didn't think he was capable of that.
No.
I mean, I didn't think that was
nobody in NBA history had done that in terms of first 11 straight.
I mean, it's quite possible, Scott. We saw his best game he'll ever have in his career.
That's
and that's
true.
not a slight on where his career could go. I hope there's a better game, but
sure.
that was so rare, so historic. Doesn't mean he can't have 30 tonight. It'd be great. Equally as good. That was just something truly special.
It was. So he finished 12 of 15 from 3. He was 16 of 23 overall. He also had 8 rebounds in the game, a couple of assists, 2 steals in his 36 minutes. He didn't play a good portion of that fourth quarter. Obviously, he came out in the last couple of minutes. Mike Brown did get booed. I asked him in the post-game press or the pregame press conference that I just attended. Mike Brown's dad was in attendance, so I asked him what he thought about it, knowing that he was a big Keegan fan. I asked, was your dad one of those guys booing you late in the game?
What did he say?
He said, no, his dad wasn't booing him, but he was doing the Keegan chants, and it's great. Mike Brown's dad's in his 80s now, and first game ever here in this new arena. He'll be here again tonight. He's going to be here on Friday, able to soak in what we've been able to experience here for years now, but just a kind of a magical moment, and you can tell everybody's swept up in Keegan mania right now.
They should be, because, I mean, that was truly spectacular. He's been good defensively this year, had his moments offensively, but that was his best night. I loved Mike Brown postgame that night too, Scott. He said, look, I heard the boos, but he said, people would have called me an idiot with a different descriptor in the front of that if Keegan played and got hurt, which, I mean, it probably was the right thing to do, but I know I wanted to see him go for 50.
Yeah.
But he had his chances. He had shots in the fourth.
He got a couple of shots that were open looks.
Probably better looks, to be honest.
He would have, to your point, would have had to have gone, 13 of 15 or 14 of 15 to do it. He didn't put up a ton of shots.
No. And they were up.
They were up
20-something.
And obviously the threat of injury way worse than breaking that record, especially in the last couple of minutes. And he kept them in a little longer than he probably would have otherwise. He didn't start the fourth quarter, right? That was maybe where at that point, knowing how good he was in the third, maybe could have gotten a little more minutes when the game was still meaningful. But again, there's nothing you can really complain about or criticize.
No, it was fantastic. It was good to get a win. And then, you were up here. We were all watching it. I mean, the fact that, and we talked to David Locke in the last game night, Utah threw everything at him defensively, tried all sorts, not him per se, but the Kings.
They tried to junk it up with their zone defenses and box and one and all that.
Couple of stretches, I thought it bothered the Kings, but I mean, those were few and far between. Maybe that was in the second quarter. After that, Kings figured it out, dissected it, and a lot of guys had good nights.
Yeah, no question. And when you make 22 threes and you're 22 of 45 as a team, nearly 50%, you're going to win on a lot of nights. I mean, we saw on Monday night the career best for this Kings franchise with 25 threes. They followed up with 18 on Thursday against Oklahoma City. You add those up in the last 3 home games, 64 three-pointers made. And when the Kings are shooting like that, they're almost unbeatable. As we have a signed Keegan jersey here that RJ, our engineer, sported.
What is that going to go?
Yeah, what's the story behind that one?
That one's a Christmas present. Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
He just saw it.
I had a friend of mine ask if I could get a signed Keegan photo for him, and I said, I don't know. I mean, I'll try, but now I know where to go. I'm going to ask RJ.
Exactly.
He's got the hookup, obviously.
Got the connections.
Yeah, I'm going to pass it over to him.
Yeah.
So, but that was a lot of fun, and more importantly, the Kings starting to build some momentum at home. They've won the first 2 of their 6 home games here in a row, and a chance tonight with a Washington team that's been struggling, although they've won 2 straight. They won last night in Phoenix. They're on the second night of a back-to-back, but the combination of Kuzma and Poole starting to figure things out a little bit for the Wizards.
Yeah, you can't take this team for granted, any team for granted. You can't look at their record and assume anything, really. And I think that's what Coach will talk about is, look, they got to take care of their own business, do what they do best, and not worry about their opponent at all.
Yeah, and that's good advice. And obviously the second half of this homestand gets significantly more challenging.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Phoenix won that game?
Yeah, I was a little confused.
I'm sorry, you're right. They did.
Sure.
I appreciate you correcting me on that. The Wizards were up 16
They were.
points.
I thought they were going to win.
And then Kevin Durant came back and took over that game. You're absolutely right about that. I was trying to give the Wizards a win because they're so few and far between.
Yes.
This Wizards team now, 4-21, I want to say.
Yeah, 1-13 on the road.
Yeah.
They have not been very productive. But again, Scott, at this point, we know they have 4 wins. That's not a lot. But doesn't mean they don't have pro talent. Doesn't mean they can't beat you. They're also a team that kind of plays with a lot of offense, not primarily on defense. And I wouldn't want this to get into a junked up game offensively where the Kings and, hey, this is easy. And maybe it's easy for the Wizards. And we've seen, maybe the first quarter's 39-36 and it's a game and you just get one of those where you really got to bury a team. And I thought they had chances to bury the Jazz and they ultimately did. So this is the kind of thing they need to do tonight.
No doubt. And we saw last year the Kings struggled against Eastern Conference teams here. in not having as good a home record as they wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the Washington team was different. Obviously, they had Porzingis, they had Bradley Beal. But still, the Kings this year, it's a different feel at home. They're 9-3 overall right now, and if things continue to look like they are, they could really have a great home record after this whole thing's done this week.
Which is what they wanted. That was the goal. And, yeah, they can't look to Boston. They can't worry about Minnesota and Phoenix still at the end of this. They got to worry about tonight. And, we were saying the other night how it's really kind of been up and down for Sacramento. But I think I saw the number, if they do win tonight, 16-9, it would be, I think, their best start through 25 since like 05. And
That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
I don't know that it feels that way, which is probably a compliment to the Kings because I don't feel like they've played their best basketball. And that's encouraging me that it's still out there.
It is. And, it seemed like every broadcast we were referring to something from the 04-05 season or the 02-03 season. So now we're starting to get back in that territory, and it makes you feel, all right, this Kings team is kind of getting back to where it was last year, at least from an offensive standpoint. And, of course, the most notable thing that we haven't even touched on, the Kings did that all without De'Aaron Fox on Saturday night, who will play here tonight. He has been cleared to play. He did go through practice, and he's ready to go tonight.
He's got his eyes on 48 points.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's happening tonight. I don't know if it's happening on this homestand. That might have been my favorite part of all this. I mean, watching what Keegan did live was incredible. But post-game, what the players were saying to him, Malik and De'Aaron, he put a number up there that's higher than anybody on this team, and he's got guys that'll chase it, and I think that's a good thing.
It is. The team's having a lot of fun. It's competitive, but in a fun way.
Absolutely.
I mean, everybody was so happy for Keegan.
Yeah, it's not jealous.
No, but they want to one-up him.
They do, and I think that's great. And if they do, I don't see how that's bad for the Kings. It's good for the individual that if they can surpass that mark. And I'm still stunned at 39 years in this city with some great players. I mean, legendary players, Hall of Fame players. Keegan Murray now is the 6th highest scoring game ever. That I would have never guessed would happen.
That is hard to believe.
Yeah.
It really is. Obviously, DeMarcus had a few 50-point games. Weber did. Kevin Martin.
Yep.
I mean, you're in pretty elite Kings company.
And he tied Mitch Richmond. So, I mean, that's the group he's with right now, which is really stunning.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And so it was a fun night out here on Saturday. But in the whole context of things, it's 1 out of 82. The Kings have to be ready to go tonight because regardless of where the Wizards are, whether they won on Saturday night or not, they did lose that game. They did win the game before. They are maybe playing a little bit better. They're on this West Coast swing, and if you're not ready to go, any team in this league can get you.
That's true. That's for sure. And, I mean, again, I think the Kings really need that old adage. I mean, much like we can celebrate and talk about all these great things that happen with the Keegan performance, but it is one game. You do have to move on. It doesn't count for more than one. And we say that if you have a bad loss, a terrible performance, you got to move on and be ready for the next. So same approach, certainly tonight for the Kings, and I hope they're ready to go.
Yeah, we hope they're ready to go. And looking at the points in the paint from Saturday night, the Kings were outscored in the paint 52-48, but that's really no surprise when you're making 22 threes like that. That probably is going to happen. You didn't have De'Aaron Fox either, so you didn't have some points in the paint. A look at the points in the paint brought to you by RT Painting, your reliable and trusted painter in the Sacramento market since 1998. Game night underway here from the Golden One Center. We'll be back with more. We'll get into more on the Kings, the 6-game homestand. Maybe what the number is. Are you revising the number? Maybe it's 5 wins now, maybe 6, that and a lot more. It's game night right here. Sactown Sports, 1140.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
There's no better way to wrap up the year than in a new Ram 1500 from Knight Elk Grove Dodge. Wait, there is a way. Got a new 2023 Ram 1500 DT and take up to $18,000 off MSRP. That's better. During the wrap up the year sales event at Knight Elk Grove Dodge, take up to $18,000 off MSRP on 8 new 2023 Ram 1500 DTs in the Elk Grove Auto Mall and online at elkgrovecdjr.com. MSRP $60,225. Net price $42,192 after $9,000 dealer discount and $90.33 in rebates. Bid PN 621-250. Expires 1/2/24.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides 24/7 compassionate support and connection to trained counselors. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, Just call, text, or chat 988.
Hi, this is Henry Turner, a.k.a. the High Flyer. I've done a lot of amazing things on the basketball floor, but now it's your turn to be amazing. For more than 55 years, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Sacramento has helped out the youth beat many odds. Too many littles, especially boys, are still waiting for volunteers, Big Brothers. Volunteers to spend at least 4 to 6 hours a month with local youth who needs guidance and support. So donate your time to Big Brothers and Big Sisters of the greater Sacramento area. Get involved. It's easy as a layup. Call 916-646-9300.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Welcome back into game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140. Scott Marsh, along with Jason Ross, the high flyer Henry Turner, still out tonight. We hope to have him back on Wednesday night. Kings and Wizards, the lone appearance for the Wizards in our capital city tonight. Don't know if you kind of heard it in the news about Washington, but their owner, Ted DeLeonis, talking about moving the team out of D.C. into Virginia, and that's raised a lot of controversy and a lot of mad people back at our nation's capital. That'd be really interesting. I was really caught off guard by that one. I didn't, we talk about relocation at time, and I understand moving from D.C. to Virginia is certainly not like a team relocating like we were talking about the Kings many years ago, but still moving out of our capital city into another state, another suburb. I mean, that's kind of a big deal.
I wouldn't know
potentially.
I wouldn't know enough, Scott, about this. Whether this feels a little political, maybe even financial. And I'm speaking out of bounds because I don't know that's the case. But could it be comps to the Warriors going from Oakland to San Francisco? I mean, there were reasons for it. I think there's a financial impact for the Warriors being in San Francisco, and they got a beautiful arena. There's got to be a reason. I don't know it, but actually, I really like the arena downtown there for the Wizards. It had always been a pretty good place.
Yeah, nothing's done by any means. From what I understand, the D.C. City Council offered $500 million in terms of a public subsidy. They're looking for $600 million. So you would think somewhere in that $100 million, they might find some common ground.
I'm looking for an extra $100 million too, aren't you?
And how about
500 to 600? That is a substantial amount of money, but my goodness.
No doubt. And then Oklahoma City just approved. What was it, $800 million for new arena there?
It's amazing how much these teams are worth, these arenas are worth, and really, if you build it now, it's going to be more expensive in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years. And I can't believe this building's already in year 7?
Yeah.
Year 8 even? 7 or 8? This
2014, 2016, 2017, right?
My goodness. It goes fast.
It does. But boy, are we lucky.
It's beautiful. It's held up. It's great. It's honestly, look, you and I were on the radio when the threat of this team was to move. And I would say even then, build it downtown. It's going to be great. Kind of just on a whim. It's so much better than I thought it would be.
There's no question. And obviously with the Kings not winning it first and then the pandemic, I think it took some time for this building to get its own feel and own character.
It's starting to happen.
It's starting to happen now. I mean, I when I walk into this arena, I feel the same vibe in a different way that I felt when I walked into the old Arco Arena. Yeah.
I mean, now the team play is matched. And I think having a playoff berth was awesome. Going through that experience, that was electrifying the first time. Now there's expectations to do it again. They've got to prove that. But more TNT appearances, now more people nationwide hearing about it. You hear more of a buzz about, man, that's a tough place to go into. That's exactly what they wanted to build.
No doubt. It is definitely lit here inside G1C. Game night being brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Check out their full line of luxury vehicles at mbofstockton.com. Kind of following up from Mike Brown's pregame presser today, One thing that impressed me, there was a reporter in there who covers the 76ers, or excuse me, who covers this Washington team, but he was with Mike Brown in Cleveland. And he was commenting to Mike how much he's changed since he was coach of the Cavaliers, how much more relaxed he seems, how much more he has just grown in terms of just his confidence level, everything else. It was interesting to hear that right during the middle of a press conference. And Mike took it all in stride. He laughed. He said, well, I was 35 years old at the time. I've got a grandson now. I definitely have a lot more feeling about what I'm doing, a lot more conviction. Obviously, being a part of the Golden State run and that dynasty, and having been a head coach in LA along with Cleveland, it feels like, and I think we've seen this, but Mike Brown has really hit his stride.
Yeah, I think, watching him it wasn't like he was immature. That's not the right thing. Life experience. He had been a coach at a young age. He's been around a lot of different people. I think going through different organizations, whether he's coached at Cleveland twice, LA, I think there was so much value, Scott, in him this last run being with the Warriors and seeing how successful they have been and how they've done it, and being under Pop before, and probably, life, having a grandchild, being in broadcasting for a little while, just kind of seeing all of it. And I know he credits Steve Kerr with a lot of his approach. And so, just seeing something else, seeing how successful it was. And, my observation from afar, not knowing him super well back then, but it does seem like he's different, but in a good way, finding all the strengths of still holding people accountable. But I think he's got a group and a style that's fun.
It's pretty incredible. He's been in the league for 30 years.
Yeah, it's
when
true.
You think about that, and he's a man in his 50s. So, and to start with Popovich and all of that, I mean, he's been around some of the greats, and not just coaching wise, but certainly players he's coached, notably LeBron.
Yeah, he's lived a little. I also want to credit his staff. I think he's got a really good coaching staff with him. So, what did Jay Triano go through in Toronto as a head coach, besides all his assistant jobs? Doug Christie's experience, Luke Laux, Jordy Fernandez. I think he's a really good listener, too, apparently. I think he takes input in conversations from the front office to his coaches, and I think that's pretty great. I don't think every coach does that, but I like that approach.
No doubt. And I am all in on Mike Brown. If there were any small criticism, it would be on his challenges.
I'm with you. I think it's like, does he have a flaw? That's the one I would go, and he said the last time.
He did. He took ownership.
He's like, that was emotional. But I think sometimes he is emotional on those. And I don't know. That's the one area that I would say he would need the most work on.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, our pregame press conference coverage brought to you by Folsom Lake Honda. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. All right, Kings tonight. We said they've got 4 more at home. They've got Boston on Wednesday. They have Phoenix on Friday, the back-to-back with Minnesota on Saturday. Obviously, those 3 games are very challenging. You feel like if you can get tonight, you get to at least a minimum of 500 at home. You're going to win at least one of those 3. You get the 4-2. You feel like it's a successful homestand, but you've got a chance to maybe make it a really special one, go 5-1, maybe even 6-1 or 6-0. Who knows?
Oh, that would be
incredible. Of course.
They
don't ever seem to play Boston well.
Right, and Boston's so good. Like if you told me, Scott, that they were going to end up 4-2. For sure, with no negotiating.
I think I'd take it.
I would take it, and the odd answer to this is I would actually give up tonight. Now, no one will enjoy losing to the Wizards. Like, if you're telling me I would actually take tonight and losing to Boston, I wouldn't want that. I think the Western games are more important.
For sure.
But, look, I don't want this. I'm never going to give up any game, and I think this Kings team can beat any of those teams when they play at their best. That's the thing. It's going to take their best. It may not tonight, but that also doesn't mean you have to take them lightly. So, it's really hard for them or for us not to look ahead. They really just got to lock in on tonight.
They do. And it's always interesting because when we break it down and we're looking at sections of a season, like we are a 6-game homestand, and you say they win the first 3, but then if they were to lose the last 3, you'd feel, boy, this was a terrible homestand. And it's all because of the way it finished. I mean, if it went in reverse and they lost the last 3, but then they won the final 3, you'd feel different about it for some reason, although it counts the same.
Right. Yeah, it's just like the beginning of the year last year when they were 0-4. Oh, my goodness. Is this team going to win a game? By the end of it, they had a great year. If you'd lost 4 games in January, it's not fun going through it, but you're not 0-4. So it's a lot of times the beginning of these things. And, having De'Aaron back tonight certainly going to help. I think they're playing pretty well. You just want to see, I would say, overall, just a little bit more consistency. But I think it's taken some time. They've worked on some areas here. And looks like the roles are starting to be defined a little bit more. I think Keon Ellis has really helped
he has.
This team, and there's been a little more stability there with his production. So they're in a pretty good spot right now.
They are. It wasn't Keon's best effort.
No, and a rarity
Saturday,
that he
though.
was tossed, right? The
Yeah.
two technicals.
That was, absolutely. He
Yeah.
got in that double T to begin with, and then that second technical foul in the second half. Yeah, you don't expect Keon Ellis to get tossed from a game.
Yeah.
But he was coming off his career high on Thursday, and again, we'll see, because Davian did play, so we've seen him back in the lineup. He still seems to kind of be finding himself, though.
Yeah, and now with De'Aaron back, I don't know where his minutes will go tonight, but I think I saw that with Ellis kind of in the mix, they've lost just 2 games. So that's good to see. Good production against Sabonis, Murray, Fox. Just you need all those guys. Then what other King will step up? And Monk was good again. They're getting more guys playing well right now, which is good.
They are. Sabonis is warming up. Fox is out there. So you've got the lefty combo. Sabonis, he's been so close on triple doubles on numerous occasions. He was 20, 10, and 8 on Saturday. I thought he came out as aggressive as I've seen him all season on Saturday.
Yeah, and they didn't start Walker Kessler, which I found interesting, but he really attacked the middle with Olynyk and Markin in there and some zone looks. That was important. He's not facing Jokic or Embiid really on this homestand. There's some opportunities for him to have some numbers here. Now, certainly when he faces Gobert and Towns, that'll be a challenge, but that's not tonight. So I think these are the kind of games Sabonis needs to put up those big all-star type numbers.
Yeah, no doubt. He'll definitely have a chance against it. The Wizards, Daniel Gafford's their big man, had a big night last night in the loss, 26 points, 17 rebounds. He's a guy who has kind of been somewhat of a journeyman. He's out of Arkansas. I had a chance to call his game when UC Davis played back at Arkansas, and you could tell he was a legitimate first-round NBA prospect back there. He ended up becoming that, and we'll see tonight, because obviously he's got the size and build of a legitimate NBA center.
Yeah, but I still think this is one of those nights where you say advantage Sacramento.
For sure.
This is the dead last defense in the league. So Kings are good offense. They can explode on this team. They need to, and really put up points at a high number that hopefully Washington just can't catch.
Yeah, and second night of a back-to-back.
Right, and they got to take advantage of that. The same thing as Wednesday when Boston's here. They play the Warriors Tuesday night. So sometimes you have scheduled games like when the Kings play the T-Wolves at the end of this. Well, that'll be after you played the night before against Phoenix. So sometimes you have the advantage, sometimes you don't. Tonight's one of those, and they got to utilize that
for sure. And obviously that tomorrow's game, the Warriors and Celtics, that's a TNT game, so that's a marquee game. This game, or Wednesday's game, will be an NBA TV game, I do believe. Yeah, so that'll be good for the Kings. Absolutely. All right, when we come back, we're going to go around the league. Speaking of the Warriors, a record that unfortunately was broken last night by Steph Curry. We'll get into that and a lot more as we take a look around the NBA. It's game night, and it's being brought to you by our good friends at Power Business Technology. Experience how the power of family can help your business office equipment needs today. Contact them at 844-POWER-BZ or go to powercopiers.com. More of game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
I always approach the holidays with a sense of excitement and a time to be with family. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa for Naturewood Home Furnishings. For me, the best times were when there were 3 generations all celebrating together. Today, we're the grandparents, and the holiday spotlight shines on my grandson. And I hope he'll remember holidays the way his papa does. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create your own kind of holiday memories during their holiday home sale. Unique gifts found only at Naturewood like hall trees, curios, chairside tables, and more are available at savings of 20% off. During Naturewood's holiday home sale, you'll find savings all around the store for every room in your home. Find your perfect bit of Christmas for your home at Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now. The memories you make with your family will live with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
For today's show and tell, I present my phone. It's made with glass and various metals I can't pronounce. It's powered by Xfinity Mobile, so my family saves big. Take a handout.
Colin, what are these?
I'm quizzing the class on the material.
Switch to Xfinity Mobile and save hundreds a year with the best price for 2 lines of unlimited. Just $30 a line a month. Visit XfinityMobile.com to learn more. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Unlimited Intro Service and Xfinity Internet required. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes of usage. Data thresholds may vary.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Welcome back into game night right here, Sactown Sports 1140. Scott Marsh along with Jason Ross. We'll take you up to 6:30, and then Jason, it'll be you and me for the Kings. I figured we'll just switch roles. Yeah. We'll keep it rolling for you. G-Man with the call tonight, 7 o'clock right here on Sactown 1140. We're joined now by the longtime voice of the Washington Wizards, David Johnson. I said that to David Locke the other night. I said, longtime voice. He looked at me, longtime voice. I go, well, how long have you been there? He goes, 15 years. So I don't know if he agreed or not, but I considered it a nice compliment.
No, it is. Believe me, it is. It's 27 years.
Wow.
Congratulations. And so, it is because, look, this is a wonderful league, and these are wonderful jobs. And, people, and I'll ask the question before you ask it, but it's 4 and 21. I said, no. I enjoy each and every night, and I mean that sincerely. And look, we knew going into this season we were not going to win an NBA title or contend or be in the playoffs. So what you want to see is you want to have games last night in Phoenix where we had a chance to win. We didn't. We're going to lose more than we win. But, a year ago, almost at this exact time, we came in here and surprised the Sacramento. There's no scripts. And tonight, everything's pointing Sacramento's way. I hear you're pretty good, by the way, Sacramento. That's a rumor.
Yes, we've been playing well.
I haven't seen
Keegan Murray kicked
I had to read that twice. I can't read this right. 12 3-pointers in a game. But the point is, and that's why you're going to listen to the G-Man, or if you're in Washington, listen to us on the radio, because there's no script. And you show up. And what you don't want as you're going through a 4 and 21 season, and we've had a few, but you don't want a game that there's really not a game for 4 quarters. Now, we've been, in the end, it shows blown out, but at least for the majority of the game, we competed and we fought. And in cases like Milwaukee or Phoenix, sometimes they have some players that are better than yours.
No doubt. You had a 16-point lead late last night. In fact, I credited you with a victory. Jason corrected me on that. Obviously, Durant came through at the end, but you played very well. What do you think it is down the stretch? Is this team's just still trying to find its way a little bit?
I mean, you have to make plays. It's not that they weren't executing properly. You have to make shots. It's as simple as that. We can overanalyze things until we're blue in the face, but there's a reason why Kevin Durant and Devin Booker or whoever you want to list are at the level they are at, and we're trying to get to that level in terms of the Wizards have been a team that competes for the 7th and 8th, makes the playoffs, and now it is a dramatic statement that they made, and it was made when they drafted our rookie, Bilal Coulibaly. I remember on draft night, the fan base instantly reacted and said, whoa, wait a minute, this is different. You're not drafting the best player available necessarily or somebody's going to help you right away. That was a sign that they were taking a long-term view, and that's what you have to do in the NBA. It's not like the NFL where if you don't like your quarterback, you just owe them the bonus money, you can cut them, and you can revamp. With guaranteed contracts, if in our case, if John Wall and Bradley Beal can't stay on the court together through no fault of their own, you're not going to be as successful. And teams that have dealt with injuries, and it's the old cliche, well, injuries, everybody's, well, no, but if you're missing your 2 best players, you're not going to win.
Yeah. So, Dave, what have you guys then? You also, in a season like this, you're also trying to learn about individuals, learn about what you have, what you can build on. So, what are the Wizards finding out about this roster?
Well, Bilal Coulibaly, I'll use Giannis's quote because I was always taught in debate class that to bring up a quote that you put on the note card. I'm going back to high school now for you guys.
I like it. Did you get a good grade then?
Well, I got to see, but now I'm trying to make up.
But you've learned.
I've learned.
Yeah.
That's not your best argument right there,
So
Dave.
I know that's true. So Giannis said for Bilal Coulibaly, the sky's the limit, and that's what I truly believe because he's a 19-year-old that played on Victor Wembanyama's team, and everybody was focused on Victor Wembanyama, and so he very much flew under the radar. But he is guard Durant, guard Devin Booker, guard Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
He's been getting assignments, and he's not getting embarrassed. He's competing against these players. He's got the athleticism that's the part you don't teach, but then he's got the basketball IQ. And people that watch on the game tonight or listen to G-Man will hear that he doesn't change whether he makes a mistake or a big slam dunk.
Mm-hmm.
The emotions are the same. People talk about it. If you show him something once, he's got it. He's got it. Somebody asked me today, who's the most person, because I forgot what room I was on in the hotel. This happens every year when you travel. We got in late last night from Phoenix, and I went down to get coffee, and I thought, wait a minute, what floor am I on?
Yeah. Floor? Yeah.
So, but Bilal Coulibaly would not forget, even in his rookie year, because he knows everything about the scouting report, even
That's awesome.
the floor that he's on in Sacramento.
That's impressive.
That is impressive.
No, and I got the city right, Sacramento.
Yeah,
You are in the capital city, not
Yeah.
the nation's capital, the state capital.
This is our 16th road game so far.
Wow.
So we've been on the road a lot.
You've been road weary.
Tossed around, and so that's why it finally happened. This morning I went down for coffee, and I thought, I don't remember where I am.
I have that feeling all the time. I can relate to that, Dave. As we talk with Dave Johnson, the Washington Wizards radio play-by-play guy, Kyle Kuzma. It's a guy who, in the offseason, so many of our Kings fans wanted to trade for it. He was speculated for a number of years. He's having a great season. Do you feel like this is a guy that will be on the Wizards roster at the end of the year? Do you think there's more moves to be made here? Or?
Well, there are more moves to be made here, but I think Kuzma will definitely be on the roster because he had an interesting mindset, I believe. Anyway, this is just my belief that he won a title with the Lakers. Now, but as he said, with the Lakers, LeBron and Anthony Davis, it's their team. This is a chance where, for lack of a better way of saying it, it's his team to a degree. It's a team sport, but he has a chance to be a leader, in which he is, and is. He's talked about, through this period of time where we're 4-21, his emotion doesn't change because when he decided to stay with the Wizards, it's not like this is a surprise. This team shouldn't be 4-21. They should have had a few more games, but that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. The bottom line is he knows what he signed up for, and so no, I very much believe, he's in the long-term future of this team. Long-term by NBA standards, we're talking 4 or 5 years. I mean, it's not like radio play-by-play where you last for 27 years, and they don't realize I'm still on their payroll. That's how I keep my job. That's the secret. But Kyle Kuzma is getting the situation. We have other players, and this is why we've been a fun team. Whether it's a Tyus Jones, okay, you're no longer behind Ja. It's everybody that's in this league at some point was the guy with their team. But then as you get in the NBA, everybody's the guy. So you can't have 5 guys on the court. There's got to be an alpha and et cetera, et cetera. So with the Wizards, you have a chance to say, all right, can you believe it? Can you take the next step? Kyle Kuzma came to the Wizards from the Lakers and has taken the next step, and he showed it. Some players don't make that next step. So it's exciting to see a Tyus Jones, a Kyle Kuzma come from, these are veterans, but not long-term veterans, to take the next step with the Wizards.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Tyus Jones. That's what I was going to ask you about because I've been a fan of him, watching him play as a backup, and now as kind of that lead role. How has he done? How's he looked? What's his future look like?
Well, he just doesn't turn the ball over. And at one point, I have to look it up. I have it written down, but unless my notes are in front of me, I don't remember anything unless my high school debating comes up. But
and you remember that C.
I remember that C. But the leading the NBA in assist to turnover ratio, he's showing an offensive game. Last night he got hot beyond the arc. there's a reason you're a fan of him. He is really blossoming with the Wizards with more of an opportunity, and it's exciting to see. And again, here's a guy, he gets on the bus and he makes sure he daps everybody's hand, and it's little things like that when you're on this kind of journey where you're not saying, well, let's see about the playoff implications. When you're on a journey where you're building for a long-term future, it's important to have guys like a Tyus Jones who are going to show up every night and give it their all and do it with a positive attitude.
Yeah.
How about Jordan Poole so far? What's your thoughts on him?
Well, Jordan Poole, I think, and this is the other thing, we're 25 games into our season, give or take. And, but like 5 games into the season, I started seeing stories that, well, the Wizards, these are the stories in the prep, but we've got to fill stories.
Of course, that's what we do.
So I'm not criticizing anybody, but they say, well, the Wizards have given up on Jordan Poole. I mean, wait a minute,
it didn't work. Experiment's over.
Done. 5 games, we're done. We've seen all we need to see. So it doesn't work that way. I mean, think about the listeners out there. Did you give up on your spouse after 5 dates? Maybe you did. But, I mean, you got to give it a chance. So I think his numbers and some of his games reflect his season so far. It's not just you say, all right, he did this here, he comes here with this group of players, it's going to be the same. So he's going through an integration process. But then when you see Friday night against the Pacers, a very good team, 30 points, 8 assists, he didn't forget how to play basketball. And so that's what we talked about, even as we talked to our fan base, that we don't want to be the same team in December or in January or February. It is going to be that gradual improvement. Now, he has been inconsistent out of the gate, but I believe that's going to change.
Yeah, and you saw a little bit of the vision there because Kuzma went for over 30 as well. So that's kind of the hope that the two of them can take over. And then if you get a Daniel Gafford, who had 26 and 17 last night, contributing inside, you got something going.
And this is the level where you're saying, all right, is Gafford going to go to the next step? This is a tough league. I mean, there's billions of people on their planet and on this planet, whatever planet we're on. I mean, in Sacramento, I know that much. And there's only 500 NBA jobs.
Right.
So it's not easy to make the next step. Gafford's showing that, over the last 10 games or so, that if he can keep that kind of consistency, he doesn't have to do 26 and 14 every night, although that'd be nice.
Sure.
Denny Avdia has been the most consistent player from the get-go. And okay, how do you become to take the next step? Well, in a case like a Denny Avdia, he's playing with more force. He's getting more N1s as he drives to the baskets. It's nuances that you notice in a player like a Denny Avdia or a Daniel Gafford. It's not that they're going to become, he took the next step because he's now averaging 25 a game.
Yeah.
That's not how you measure it. And so Avdia, Gafford, these are young guys in their young portion of their career that, we just were in Orlando a couple weeks ago. I mean, they hit on all their draft picks with their young guys. And now that they're 3 or 4 years in, these Franz Wagners, et cetera, they're the real deal. And that's a real team.
No doubt. Orlando is really impressive right now. And maybe that's where Washington is heading. Dave, thank you so much for the time. And Jason, you know what? We've got the G-Man with 39 years tonight. We've got Dave with 27 years tonight. We are in the presence of NBA greatness.
But he looks great.
He does.
The G-Man does look great.
Just terrific. And then I saw the picture in the lobby or the press room. He's in a tuxedo. I mean, he's a classy guy. I'm not beer and the potatoes guy, but you got the best here in Sacramento. And by the way, this is a great town. Jelly Bellies are pretty close to here.
Vacaville, just down the road, about 30 miles.
Which means that this is a great place. And also, my good friend Fred Mathis helped start the Sacramento Republic.
And of course, you do soccer as well.
I do soccer for DC United. So I'm glad that people are supporting the Republic, and you can throw Jelly Bellies or do whatever. That's good stuff.
I feel like we need to get your high school teacher on the horn.
Let's give her a call.
We need to retroactively change the
Can we get that debate tape? Do they have a video of that debate?
I know. I was too nervous back then.
Great stuff. We appreciate your time very much. Have a great call tonight.
Thank you.
All right, that's game night. We'll be back. We'll go around the league. We'll get you caught up on Steph Curry. We'll get you caught up on this game tonight. Kings and Wizards right here, Sactown, 1140.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox. The breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
At Jim Boy's Tacos, you get a ho lot of flavor for under $10. Our classic #2 combo meal spreads cheer with a farm-dusted ground beef taco, scratch-made bean and cheese burrito, and a soft drink. So jingle on down to Jim Boy's or order online at participating locations.
Hey, it's Juice and Mo. Make this Christmas unforgettable by shopping at our friends Sharif Jewelers.
Do you even remember what you thought last Christmas?
No.
Well, you got to make this one memorable.
Okay.
Make sure to go into Sharif Jewelers. You can get diamond studs, tennis bracelets. There's so many classic, timeless pieces that can be worn every single day, available in both lab-grown and natural mined.
In so many different price points. So don't go anywhere else this holiday season. Support a local, family-owned business rooted in Sacramento for 30 years. Sharif Jewelers.
Dell's holiday event is one of their biggest sales of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top-brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Kevin Lewis with National Garage Door, reminding you that in Sacramento, National Garage Door is the king of garage doors. We service, sell, and install garage doors and openers. Call us today for your basketball special. A new 16x7 Rainer garage door with insulation and a belt drive opener for only $24.49 installed. Give us a call today, 916-638-4554.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Welcome back into Game Night right here, Sactown Sports 1140. Scott Marsh along with Jason Ross. And indeed, Game Night is brought to you by National Garage Door. Call today for your basketball special, 916-638-4554. Our thanks to Dave Johnson. 27 years qualifies as longtime voice of the Wizards. It was great to talk with him, and he's got the right perspective. And Jason, of course, you and I can relate to all of that, and we know what it's like to go through some lean years. And, you know, the great thing about it is you're still in the NBA, and it's still the greatest sport in the world.
When you're great, when your team's great, or you're at the bottom of the league, the reality is kind of what Dave said. Scott, you can come to a game. Let's take the last game we were here of the homestand. If people looked at the schedule and we polled all Sacramento Kings fans, pick the first game you want to go to. Boston's on the list.
Yep.
Maybe Phoenix, then probably Minnesota. I don't know where the Utah game falls out of the 6, maybe 5th or 6th.
Yep.
And it might be one of the best games we'll see in this building ever in a long time, for sure.
Absolutely. And when the homestand's over with, the Utah game will be number one.
Yeah.
Almost regardless of whatever else happens because of Keegan's performance.
Yeah. So you don't know what you might see. Now there might be better games overall, buzzer beaters, but an individual performance, a buzzer beater, a historic night. You just don't know. Like the Nets game was a historic night. That was a great game. It was fun to see the Kings hit all those threes. That's the beauty of the league. You just don't know. And especially a guy like Keegan. Like if Fox had 47, it would have been equally exciting. But the fact that it was Keegan, whose record was 30, I mean, to smash your career high by 17 points is really difficult to do in the NBA.
There's no question about that. All right, let's go around the league. We were talking about Steph. We were going to get into that before Dave stopped by. But Steph Curry last night had his consecutive game streak for three-pointers made broken in Portland last night. 268 games consecutive with a 3-point make. He did not get one last night. One of the all-time great streaks broken last night.
Yeah, stunning. I mean, I thought the only way it would happen is if he, rolled his ankle in the first 6 minutes of a game. But no, he was, I think, 0 for 8.
Yeah,
so he
had some serious chances. He had 2 of 12 floor.
I saw another graphic. This also speaks to the way the league goes. I think it was, would you say 268 games?
Yeah.
Like that? So that's, 3-4 seasons ago. And then they showed pictures of, like, the team's cores at that time, the last time Steph had a game where he didn't miss a 3. This league evolves quickly. And, yeah, the Warriors are one of the more consistent teams out there, but the amount of turnover in this league is crazy. So if you're looking at a team like tonight, the Wizards, but then you're featuring Beal and John Wall. Well, those guys are both long gone. It's just there's turnover. And for Steph to have the record that long is impressive. And I think this is a one-game aberration because he's going to start a new streak the next game they play.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Klay Thompson stepped up and had a big game. He's got 3 20-plus point games in a row. There's been a lot of talk about him. He kind of pushed back afterwards in the post game about where his game's at and how he's feeling about it. And obviously, if the Warriors are going to be competitive at all, especially with Draymond out for a significant period of time, Klay's going to have to step up.
Yeah, and, we were talking when the Draymond suspension happened, kind of the indefinite number. We don't know when he'll come back, but they were at their most vulnerable point. A key piece to the puzzle, going to be out, and they were 4 games below 500. Well, they've won the last 2 so far without him. I don't know how many they will win without him, but I think it was important to go in that direction first before they went the wrong way. They're still out of the top 10 right now, but as we know, a good week can change that. So feels like it's an important stretch for them for as many games as they're going to play without him.
No doubt. Some other news. We mentioned DeMarcus Cousins earlier because he had those 50-point games. He leads the Kings in terms of the all-time leading scorer in a game. He signed a deal with the Taiwan Beer Leopards today.
Who?
The Taiwan Beer Leopards.
Yeah, was it a 10-day, I believe?
I don't know the term. Yes, it was a 10-day and 4-game period. He's expected to join the team in mid-January.
Pad your stats, Boogie. I mean, I wish nothing but that.
I know, and I don't mean to laugh either. I apologize about that.
No, it's just that's how hard it can be sometimes to be in this league. He's a decorated player. He's a talented player. It is interesting that it's been tough for him to get back in the league, and he's been around, and there's, a reputation following him a little bit too, but I know he's desperate to get back in the NBA.
No doubt about it. And in all seriousness, I wish him nothing but the very best because he was one of the best people off the court that Sacramento's ever had in terms of his generosity in this community and some of the things he did that went unsaid, and the money that he gave really is something to be very thankful for.
This was his time of year, Boogie Claus.
Yes, that's right.
Away, a lot of things. He helped out a lot of different families and kids and in the Sacramento area for years. And it's a grind sometimes to get back in the league. I mean, there's some great players. John Wall still not around. I mean, we know for Chipper it's worked out very well overseas for him. Absolutely.
So
it'll be another career.
Stephon Marbury, another person who had a great career overseas. So we wish the best for DeMarcus, and he has signed a 10-day contract there. All right, let's look at the games tonight before we start breaking down Kings and Wizards here. A Monday night in the association, and we have got some games in progress right now. The Cavs are leading the Rockets 117-111. 4 minutes left to go in that game. The Clippers just continue to roll right now. 145-113 in Indiana over the Pacers. The Beard has 35-9. This team's clicking right now.
You're gonna they're probably done, but there was a chance got to have 3 30-point scorers. George and Leonard are right there, but they're not playing. I'm sure now with this game almost being over. I looked early. Tyrese had a rough day, 3 of 12.
Yeah.
Clippers. People made fun of them when they added James Harden and they lost all those games right away. They have now found their groove.
They have indeed. All right, Pistons have not. They found a groove, but it's not the groove you want. They're about to lose their 24th consecutive game. They're down 96-84 going into the fourth quarter. Again,
you don't see a comeback?
Hey, Kid Cunningham's got 23 in this game, so who knows? He's going to have to go for about 40 to pull this one off. But no, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
The league record's 26 in a row in one season for most consecutive losses. Heat and Timberwolves, of course, Minnesota's here on Saturday. Heat leading that game 83-80. Anthony Edwards back in playing. Raptors and Hornets 86-85. Thunder and Grizz 71-56. This most likely will be the last game the Grizz are without John Morant. They're 6-18, heading towards 6-19 in the 25 games that he's missed.
Yeah, we've been talking about them. Can they come back? I just don't know. They're going to have to play at a really high clip. They obviously will be better with John Morant. And also, how long will it take for him to get back into that all-star mode? Because he's a terrific young player, but he's missed a lot of time.
Yep, no doubt. Denver and Dallas early on. Nuggets leading 15-13. Jazz and Nets. That's early on as well. Utah up 18-14. One final from today. The Bulls beating the 76ers despite 40 from Embiid. 108-104. Kobe White went for 24, 8 and 9. And then later on tonight, Knicks and Lakers. So New York in LA to take on the Lake Show. That will be interesting as well. All right, the game we want to focus in on, Wizards and Kings, in our remaining moments. And, of course, we'll be covering it extensively in Kings Live pregame coming up at the bottom of the hour. But just some of your final takeaways. Are you concerned at all, considering that the Kings have the Celtics, Suns, and T-Wolves coming in? They're coming off a historic night with Keegan. It's a Monday night. It's a rainy night in our capital city. Any concern for a letdown in any way whatsoever?
I think there's natural. Look, I always go on my own human nature. Anybody else coming to the game, I know coming to the game tonight, I was feeling this should be a good night for the Kings. Doesn't mean it will be, but that's how I feel. When you get here Wednesday, oh, man, they're going to have to play great to beat Boston. Well, you just wish you had that approach. It's human nature, Scott. I don't know why it happens, but it does. But you got to be ready. You got to take this game seriously. I believe the Kings will. And if they play well, I think they'll win. But, you let another team with a chance, a team that can score. But the fact that they can give up a ton of points, that fits into the Kings' wheelhouse. I think if the Kings can really establish their offense, yet not break defensively, could be a good night.
And they will have De'Aaron back.
Yes, and that's going to help. And sometimes they're a little guilty of waiting for him to do it, but he can do it too. So keep the greatness of Keegan and DeMontis going while De'Aaron's back and all the other guys complimenting. That's a pretty good version of the Kings.
And you got to win for Mike Brown's dad, who's in the house for the second game. He's 1-0 here at Golden One.
I mean, it's Christmas time. People don't want to go out of here unhappy. They want to light the beam. They want the chance to go. They don't have to hit all these threes, but, let's see something fun tonight.
Yeah, and Mike Brown's dad, according to the coach, his favorite moment was being in the post-game press conference.
Really?
Yeah.
Watching his son work.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess that was it. I'm not sure, but maybe it's because of the victory. And he certainly had a lot of fun rooting on Keegan. It'll be a fun one out here. If you're driving in, take it easy. We've got you covered. Tip tonight, 7 o'clock. Kings Live pregame coming up next. Jason and I will have that for you as well. Game night being brought to you by the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Sacramento. If you want to become a volunteer mentor in our community, all you have to do is call 916-646-9300. Visit bbbs-sac.org. A lot of kids who could use a mentor in this community. This is a great cause. That'll do it for game night. When we come back, Kings Live pregame right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Malik Monk plays here.
Left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing